SGC here, and we're back for comics time. So picked up Godzilla Oblivion. We have a James Stokoe cover, and it's Churilla art. So definitely check that out, and I love it. Though I don't know, Stokoe cover versus Churilla art. I'm just wishing that Stokoe drew the entire thing. But overall, interesting concept with the whole cross-dimension thing, and they bring in something crazy. And yeah, it's from a human perspective, so it's definitely different from what Stokoe did with Half-Century War. I dug that so much more. But again, it's Godzilla Stokoe cover, and it's Churilla art. So I mean, it's all good for me. Really interesting concept. I mean, more Churilla art is just great. I mean, with Hellbreak, just the only thing that I'm reading that has his art. And now this is awesome. So yeah, the scale and everything, like just having this right beside each other is like, oh, come on, Stokoe cover versus Churilla inside art. Just a tad bit not fair to compare, because I mean, Churilla art here is great, but Stokoe and Monsters is just god level. But beyond that, I mean, I enjoy this for what it is, and I wonder how long it's going to go on, but overall enjoyed. Can't wait for the next one. So Black Widow number 2. Well, that was fast. We totally figure out why issue 1, the stuff that happened. She's put up to the task, and clearly everyone thinks she's a liability on both sides, and now she's blackmailed. Interesting stuff. I mean, awesome art. Love the dialogue. Story is intriguing, and the action sequences are really nice, and the covertness, and just I love it. I love it. So glad this team is back, and yes, I cannot wait for the next issue. Next up, Old Man Logan number 4. We have a Cap face-off, and then realization of the world that he's in, and coming to terms with that. A lot of character sort of building in terms of him coming to terms that he can't change the future. He's not from their future. It's totally different, and then he meets up with current day X-Men, and it's just like, whoa, what's happening there? Really intriguing, sort of like, how are you going to react, Wolverine? I really dig that in terms of storyline. Art, I like it as usual, and cannot wait for the next one. The Batgirl number 50, a oversized issue with a ton of artists working on this one, and it's finally the conclusion to the arc about being hijacked, and then we have a team sort of fight thing with all these thugs that this dude, I forgot his name, that gathered all these villains to work together to fight Batgirl and her team, and they own the villains. And at the end, it sort of was interesting to note, I actually never read prior to her going back to college how she got her legs back, so that in that chip plant thing was like, oh, interesting, never knew that. And it was just this sort of revelation at the end where she breaks that to fight the guy. And all in all, been interesting stuff, though I sort of wish that they ended with this issue, but there's an issue 51 and then it goes into Rebirth or what have you. So this would have been a nice send-off in a sense. So I mean, overall, I wish that the overlying arc of this thing in the background was started a lot earlier, so it's more intriguing when it ends, because I feel like it was just shoehorned in the last couple of issues, and it became the actual arc. And I mean, it's a hit or miss with who draws what. I mean, it's interesting that they did have different artists and all that, but I don't know. But then again, I would have rather preferred this over a huge oversized Babs Tarr art. I mean, like I said, I like her art in little pieces, but just the overlong versions of just faces being the same is just kind of irksome. But overall, it's done. I don't know what's issue 51. I'll get that. I'll just get it till Rebirth starts, because then I can drop it. I mean, thank you, DC, for having a great jumping off point. Just thank you. Prophet Earth War number 3. We scale things down a bit, and it's more of a mission-based type this thing time. And we scale things down a bit, and this is a mission type story, and it was been great. It's fun. Diehard showing his moves, and it's just the what's the word? Futility of just saving people, and then they getting owned, and it's just like war is war, and it sucks, and plans go astray. You have side missions, and do they go through? Who knows? Overall, love the art. I'm really digging Grim Wilkins art. And the story was fun as well, and I really wonder how many issues we're gonna have for Earth War. And I don't know, it is the last sort of Prophet that Brandon is doing, which is kind of a bummer because it's been great, and I really love sort of the quality stuff that they've been putting out, and the backup has been interesting as well. And yeah, so all in all, I cannot wait for the next issue. Next up, we have Providence number 8. Holy crap, H.P. Lovecraft cameo. And there's no crazy whack stuff happening this time around, but there's that 700 step sort of dreamlike state that was interesting as well. Art is normal, story is in compelling sense where he's finally dwelling in a safe version of these monstrous stuff compared to the last few issues where he's been like on the run all the time. So it's been a nice changing pace. It was an interesting issue and can't wait for the next one. Next up we have Empress #1. Millar is back, this time with Stuart Immonen. Interesting world building here. At first I thought it was a very old-fashioned, I don't know, royalty sort of garb, but then it's a total sci-fi trip. Did not expect that. I mean, sure, I should have expected that, but when they went in and had all the dress-up change, wardrobe change, and then they had like airships and all that. I mean, I enjoyed the art. Immonen's great art. Story is interesting, compelling, and wonder where it's gonna go. And it's just the twists happening with the whole marriage and all that. And yeah, can't wait for the next issue. Definitely. I mean, I'm also pretty cool with Millar stuff. All in all, and also it's always nice. Great art that he pairs himself with his story, so it's always that's a bonus. So yeah, can't wait for the next one. So there you have it. That is this week's Comics Time. I hope you like what you got because this is your money. And as always, if you have anything to say, leave it down below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And that is it for this week's Comics Time. Out.